What is up? Welcome back to Softcore History. I am your host for the week, Rob Fox. I'm joined as always by Dan Regester, who's stealing my look this week, and Jake Goldman, who's also stealing my look this week. I'm hatless this week.
Backwards hat. What's up?
Look at you.
Sup, boys?
Look at you boys.
Sup, man? I'm going to go get a 30 rack of natural light and maybe, talk to a girl that's too drunk to consent.
We're not franchise quarterbacks, according to Colin Cowherd.
If you wear a backwards hat.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
He says if you're over 30 and you wear a backwards hat, I wouldn't draft you or, have you on my roster.
That's a good
Shit.
That's a good analysis.
There goes my chance.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll just never get a Super Bowl.
Yeah, never going to win anything.
It's because Mahomes is in the way, really. Otherwise, I would have, 4 rings by now.
You personally?
Yeah.
Or your Eagles?
No, me personally.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Real quick, we got some housekeeping before we get into this episode. If you like this show, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/softcorehistory. We do 2 extra episodes a week. However much that is a month, it's $5 a month to pay for it. Huge back catalog of evergreen content. Got to check it out. It's well worth the money. Someone said it took them half a year to get through it.
No, I think he said 2 months because he was just going through it every day.
At an ungodly pace.
Mm-hmm.
A normal person, it would probably take a year to half a year to get through it.
But they were so entertained by us that they just ran through
They
it.
just went all the fucking way
And
through it.
I got to be honest. That guy's right. We are that entertaining.
Mm-hmm. You get an additional episode like this where we actually cover history. And then an episode on Friday that's kind of just like us shooting from the hip.
I mean,
we had a Gabbin episode.
That was all gab.
Was all gab, no breaks.
Peeled back
well
the
received,
curtain.
I guess. Yeah.
Dude, I actually had people reach out to me about things we talked about.
Who knew the less effort we put into a podcast, people like
we
it.
all knew that.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing.
We all knew that.
We really got to stop trying so hard. So today we're not talking about shit.
I have too much. I wrote down too many. My outline's too long.
And if you're new to the podcast, please stay. I promise you there will be history.
yeah, there will be
It's
history. Leave a review, by the way, if you haven't already. We're only 10 reviews away from
me
Dan
getting
being allowed
fucked up on the show.
to drink again, and he will do so on the show. And actually, if you get to the 10 this week, that means it'll be his main episode. He'll have to put that fucking abomination on the main feed.
Yep. We'll do a power hour.
Oh,
Jeez.
you'll
Yeah.
do Power Hour all time.
As I
I'll
host.
watch.
Yeah,
I'll sip casually, but
I can drive you home.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Maybe I pick you up and drop you off.
That works for me.
Yeah.
sweet.
If it happens, if it even happens.
10,
Yeah, we need 10.
10 away, and then next week he has to embarrass himself in front of a lot of people.
In front of a not live audience.
Or maybe you'll crush it.
I bet
What if you're just dialed in?
Yeah,
when
but
you do it?
you need to pregame it too.
Oh,
I want you to come in a little hot. If you start at
no.
0.00 BAC,
I'll pregame it.
yeah, you're not going to be anywhere near where you need to be.
But if we hit 1,000 reviews by the time I host, I will kind of cater it to that.
Okay.
The topic will be relevant.
Okay.
Yeah. Dan's gonna just be contrarian and be like, I actually just drank a giant mushroom tea, a gallon of mushroom tea, and
Whatever,
That
as
would be
long as
sick.
he's fucking off.
I go more hardcore sober.
yeah, you just double down. It's not even California sober anymore.
It's I won't even ingest salt.
That's bad for you. You have to have salt.
You need electrolytes.
You need those.
Salt.
You'll die. Yeah.
I love when Rob has the opportunity to talk. He's just
Takes
The
a
audience
big
will
old
wait.
gulp.
The audience
audience
will
can
wait
wait.
as I sip.
It's a dramatic sip.
Yeah, exactly.
We're the sippin' bros.
The sipping boys.
We're the sippin' boys.
Yeah.
That's me and Giorgio, actually.
Oh, you guys already named that.
We've already
The sippy boys.
Oh, damn
co-op
it!
that.
All right.
See, I don't work here. I don't know. I'm not in on.
I
the
know you
cool-
might move in general. You might not work here at all.
Yeah. No, I might be moving really soon. So
we said that on the Patreon. It was behind the paywall, but
yeah, if
Might
you
be
want to know
leaving
why, join the Patreon.
yeah.
At least for 1 month.
He won't tell you why he's leaving here. He'll just be gone one day,
Yeah.
like your dad.
But the patrons, they'll know.
Yeah.
They'll know because I love them more.
All right, well, let's get into this week's topic.
All right.
It's semi-topical, but also kind of evergreen.
It's perfect.
You know what I mean?
That's the
It's
the bar.
It's
so
like,
yeah.
hey, this is relevant to now, but also I feel like it's relevant every other year, maybe every day at this point. I don't know. You mentioned actually Columbia University right before we got on air.
Mm-hmm.
A lot
Seems like a peaceful place right now.
of a lot of people who there pretty big fans of Hamas, I guess.
Oh, I'm so glad I just stopped watching any news.
I'm just on Twitter. Like I'm just looking for like Braves highlights and then or NBA playoff highlights and then
It's fed to me.
it's
That and people just getting murked.
Yeah, that's true. There are a
I
lot
just
of
see so
dead
many people
people
die now
on
X.
Twitter. Yeah.
it's not a good social
Twitter.
media
I'm
platform.
never on Twitter anymore, but yeah.
It's depressing.
It's
Yeah.
not good. It just makes you sad.
But I feel like it's been it's a modern political trend, at least modern. Probably it's lasted forever, but shit don't change. But where people with big ideas tend to identify with not great groups,
That does happen.
right? They tend to look backward or sideways and be like, you know what? I like them
Listen,
because I got big ideas.
communism's never been tried, all right?
Never once.
Never truly.
Yeah, was it like Marx and the
Or
Taiping,
idealistically.
Marx during the Taiping Rebellion?
Funny you should say communism. Because I kind of tentatively titled this one The Fake Communist Who Experienced Real Communism.
Oh no.
We'll workshop that.
Oh no.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's not great.
But lots of people, they identify with, if you're a fucking crazy white nationalist racist, the Nazis. A lot of tankies online love the Soviets and the CCP. Obviously, for some reason, there's a lot of college students that think Hamas isn't so bad.
Both sides are getting nuts right now.
It's
Popping off. They're bucking. Because I'm also seeing the crazy right just starting to be like, yeah, you know what? White power. like fuck, dude.
look, a lot of running backs are hitting their holes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
It's
starting
really-
to own their place on the internet.
Well,
I
they just
guess.
see it an opening.
I think
We're getting right through it.
Wait, you're telling me that this thing in our pocket that makes us feel more connected than ever is just really dripping us like surface level connection at best, and we're all falling into little power vacuums of our own, and everyone's becoming tribal as shit? No fucking way.
Yeah, what's new?
Who would have seen that coming?
The interesting thing about most of these people, though, that like communism or Nazis or Hamas or whatever, they tend to express that belief from the comfort of the United States or other Western nations.
With freedom. to
Sure.
do so.
Right.
Yeah.
A little armchair quarterbacking in a way.
There's no trans for Iran in
Iran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stakes are low, is what you're saying.
You can just kind of say stuff here.
I blanked on Tehran.
Tehran.
Yeah.
Beautiful city.
I'll never
Was. Man, I love those photos of Iranian women in the 60s.
Just living life, dude.
There's actually some pretty depressing ones of like Afghan women too. Like Afghanistan used to be kind of chill, I guess.
Yeah.
It's weird when you have proxy wars in places.
A couple of those are on us, especially
Yeah.
Iran.
Definitely that
You
one.
know.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
Afghanistan more than the Soviets.
Yeah, that's not really on us. But yeah, today's episode, I actually found it on Twitter, served to me against my will, although it was useful, because it was kind of in reference to someone making sort of like a Hamas analogy with the Columbia shit. But I saw this guy because they were making an analogy to a past historical event, and I was like, that's fucking interesting and laced with irony.
Is it someone that killed someone famously?
No.
Okay.
No. Well, I don't think you've heard of this. You
Okay.
might have just because you know a lot of weird random shit, but I guarantee you most of our listeners haven't, and probably you haven't either. But if I hadn't heard of this beforehand.
He's trying to say I haven't heard of it.
I didn't know about it until 2 days ago. I didn't know about it
still
until
don't
2 days ago.
No big deal,
But
but
this,
I took an IQ test while I was doing the elliptical the other day. Get my
let's-
cardio in. 120, boy. What's up?
I don't trust an
Okay.
IQ test you have to pay for.
That's one. You paid for that.
It's
so
$2.
That's 110.
$2.
You knock 10 points
I know.
off.
I did knock myself 10 points. I'm like, I did pay for it. You're right.
That's like
Yeah.
there's a King of the Hill episode where Peggy takes a genius test online, and then they like get her to pay for shit, and it's just rigged. So
It was incredibly easy though, and 120 is not that good of a score. It's like
120. That's gonna get you into gifted.
Yeah, it's like a superior. It's like borderline.
It's the sweet spot, really,
Yeah.
because you're not too smart. It's the Goldilocks of IQs.
Yeah,
I think so. It's,
Yeah. You're just well balanced. Bro.
it's like that 6.5-inch dick.
That's right. That's
boyfriend
right.
dick. You got
Boyfriend
a boyfriend
dick.
brain.
Yeah,
It's a boyfriend brain. He's not too big of an idiot to like not be able to do things for himself, but he won't think too
I
hard.
know how to recognize patterns.
Yeah, that's important in today's world.
It was really pattern heavy.
Yeah, dude, there be patterns everywhere, like all the time. That's it. That's all I got.
I
So-
just want you guys to take the same test so I can see
If
I'm
you
smart
pay
enough.
for
I
the
guess
test,
pay for it.
pay
I'll
for the
fucking
test.
take it.
I'll do it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
add 10 for making you pay for it.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
I'm
starting
just
with a
gonna
20
pocket
point.
the $2 and go full genius.
He's just gonna Photoshop 178.
Yeah.
For us though, take the Wonderlic test.
Oh, the Wonder. We
Yeah.
could do a bunch. Like we should just take like the official IQ test too. And
No,
see
I
who-
want to see who would be the best quarterback, brain wise.
Okay.
Okay.
We can do that for the Patreon or something.
All right. I'm down with that. We'll compare ourselves to historic quarterbacks. Quarterbacks pre
Jamarcus
2000.
Russell.
John Elway.
Oh,
I bet I can
man.
run a franchise better than Elway.
Who was the worst one? It was Jameis had the dog shit one.
No, Jameis had a really good one.
Jamarcus had a horrible one.
Oh, that's right.
And ironically, CJ Stroud had a really bad one.
He's good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to think. You just ball.
Just react.
Yeah, just throw it, dude.
Also
Anyway.
can't throw a baseball.
So
It's weird.
He's a quarterback.
Yeah,
He
you
doesn't
can
need to.
Huck a
skill.
football,
different skill.
huck the pigskin 70 yards, but you can't throw a little baseball?
Different skill.
Ball too small.
Ball too small.
All right. So today, like I said, we're talking about a fake communist who ultimately got a taste of real communism. Malcolm Caldwell was born in Stirling, Scotland in 1931. His dad was a coal miner, and so from the day he was born until he was like 14 years old, his life was the Great Depression and World War II.
That's good. That's
Grew
a
up-
good run.
Grew up in a small, hard Scrabble town, middle class at best, blue collar.
Why were they playing Scrabble?
Well, they're playing hard Scrabble.
Yeah.
So is that like
No
40
vowels.
chess?
well,
There's
you,
multiple levels.
can you imagine
Yeah.
playing Scrabble in Scotland, bro, with those words? That's gotta be hard. That's what I'm saying. Like,
It's extra words with
Yeah.
the Gaelic and
So many vowels.
yeah, there's extra tiles you've never even seen before.
they don't speak Gaelic there
No.
anymore. So you just kind of got to guess.
Yeah.
The old people are better at it.
It's just mush mouth. I think I could actually connect with them.
Probably.
I probably speak Scottish.
Right now.
That's just my normal, everyday language.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He was well educated. He got degrees from the University of Nottingham, University of Edinburgh. Served 2 years in the British Army in their Corps of Education, which was compulsory. He definitely wasn't a patriot. In 1959, he was accepted to the University of London's School of Oriental and African Studies as a research fellow. So he became a professor
Okay.
at the
That's
University of London.
quite a large swath of studies.
Yeah, they kind of just lumped it
The
together.
entire Orient and Africa.
To be fair, he was only Southeast Asia, really.
Oh, okay, got it.
Like they had, the school was everything, but they had.
No, I just like to think of him as like a mentat.
He was the one guy.
Yeah, it's just, he's
Today, we'll be doing Nambia.
yeah, just like gotta know it all.
Yeah. Tomorrow, South Africa. Although I'm doing British, he's Scottish. He was pretty much described as how you would think of a academic, socialist, communist type person. Half the characters from Oppenheimer type situation, thin, a little disheveled.
Yeah,
Wore suits a lot, but it was always kind of a shitty suit.
like elbow patches suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never really, like wrinkled all the time.
Yeah,
Just looked classic academic, classic sort of mid-century Western socialist communist type of person. He was also described as incredibly courteous and incredibly polite. Nice guy.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
that's
What his peers, what his coworkers or whatever, mostly had a problem with was his academic rigor left a lot to be desired.
good. So he wasn't a hard worker.
That's not quite how I would put it. Two of his colleagues, one of whom started out as a student and who loved him as a teacher, and absolutely believed that Caldwell was a smart guy, called him naive. The quote from him in one of the news stories I wrote was, "Everyone else in the history department went off every summer to the archives in Rangoon, Baghdad, etc., and got deep inside the data. Malcolm didn't.
Yeah,
He was a man with a very clear theoretical and ideological views, and the empirical basis didn't seem to worry him hugely."
So my whole problem with communism and socialism in general is they tend to think that everyone has to pull their share, right? Like that's everyone's equal. Everyone.
It's the core tenet is, I believe it's to their ability for their need. Like they will work to the best of their ability, to the maximum of their ability.
But
and they will
pull
be
your
provided
share. Everyone's a comrade. We're all equals.
Right.
But really, what happens is the cream rises to the top. The most charismatic people still. It's just capitalism. Like they've eventually everyone just rises to
Still
the
a
top.
market
That needs
economy.
to.
Yeah. Well,
Although the currency is not, it's either charisma or brutality.
yeah. It's
But all these people that can't like leave their house and have to get DoorDash every day because they can't interact with society, they're going to be the low end of the totem pole anyway.
Yes.
yeah. I mean,
They're never getting anything.
The big flaw of communism is ignoring what people do.
Yeah.
Like, which is seek power and hierarchy.
So people that are more skilled, more charismatic, can just deal with people on a day-to-day basis. They're going to rise. Everybody else is going to be at the bottom. So
Communism is a very individual thing.
it is still almost with people involved. It's a meritocracy still.
Absolutely, yeah. As it should be. You should be rewarded for doing well, right?
Well, it's not really rewarded for like good things. It's rewarded for
shutting people up, keeping the state as top priority. It's
but there is a reward system.
There's a bootlicking system.
There's still a reward system.
There is. And people are like, well, this isn't natural and stuff. It's like evolutionarily, we're a social species. And in every social species in the animal kingdom, you have hierarchy. It is a constant. Whether that's communal, there's still someone up top. And it's something we crave as a species. We have to have that. We have to have an understanding of the place we are in. And it's going to be a long time before we get rid of that, or advance beyond it. So, communism
so again,
totally...
it's never been truly tried.
When AI rocks us to sleep.
With just, here's a little pill.
Yeah. Shh, sweetie, the nightmare's over.
Yeah. Just be a battery.
So, yeah, he wasn't super concerned with evidence. He liked ideas.
It's every TikToker ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vibes, I just like the vibes of this ideology.
But even worse, he actually did visit communist countries. And because he was so in love with the idea, he took all their state propaganda at absolute face value.
That's the way to do it. I like being told something and taking it at face value.
Right. I don't want to think about this.
No, they say it's great.
Sounds fucking terrible.
Yeah. All those
I mean.
Well, obviously, if one side is propaganda, the other side is telling the truth.
How so?
Like, if Israel is telling you it's not a big deal, then it's probably a big deal.
Mm.
And the numbers that Hamas is reporting, totally legit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not, doctored or, juiced up at all.
They wouldn't lie.
No.
Who would lie in that conflict? It's too serious.
Why would anyone ever lie?
Honestly, I don't even think people lie.
Yeah. I can't. People don't lie.
It doesn't make sense.
Why would someone lie?
It's like,
especially when they have good reason to do so. Why would they do that?
No, why? Why would they withhold?
They have to be telling the truth. So he went to North Korea, Caldwell did, and apparently praised the, quote, magnitude of Kim Il-sung's economic achievements. He wrote that the country was, quote, an astonishing tribute not only to the energy, initiative, and creativeness of the Korean people, but also to the essential correctness of the Juche line. Juche was like a mixture of ultra-nationalism and self-reliance.
Okay, so we haven't actually said the name yet, right?
No, it's Malcolm Caldwell.
Yeah, Malcolm Caldwell.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't heard of him. I mean, he's just a guy. Forgotten to history.
Just some dude.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because his story's great.
Yeah, we're just ripping him out of, heaven back into purgatory?
Yeah,
by
pretty
talking
much.
about him, or
I don't think he's in heaven, though. We'll
No.
keep going.
Yeah,
okay.
you literally just told me his name 5 seconds ago. He's so forgettable that...
Yeah.
Malcolm Gladwell?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Close, honestly.
Caldwell.
What's especially fun about his love of ideas, not really a great need for evidence, and his inability to, I guess, do anything other than just think he's right, is that he used his classes to proselytize endlessly about how communism was great and America and Britain and the rest of the West were evil.
I was about to say, like, all you're doing is describing a lot of professors I had in political science classes, which is, I'm right, this is why. And it's, you get 3 credits for listening to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's like, oh, this guy just wants to be right, and he's in a position of, I gotta imagine, some sort of, like, tenure, or he's in a spot where they're not going to get rid of him. It's like, he's just...
So he was, as soon as they hired him, they were like, oh, fuck, he was not who he presented himself to be, and he never really got promoted or anything.
He was George O'Leary getting hired by Notre Dame.
Kinda. Except he didn't get immediately fired or leave or whatever the fuck happened.
Just lying about playing.
Yeah. But they couldn't get him out.
Yeah.
But they just never promoted him, gave him a raise or anything like that.
Yeah, thanks, communism, for not letting us fire people.
Right.
Yeah.
But the students loved him because, like I said, he was still smart, sharp guy, 100% sharp guy. Apparently charming, really engaging, great speaker, I guess. And he was making them think communism was as cool as he thought it was.
Yeah, I'm sure he sold it.
Sold it well.
Yeah.
He headed up to the Southeast London Center for Socialist Education, and he headed up the Southeast London Center for Socialist Education, and I guess at one point they staged an event in 1966 that raised money to purchase weapons for the Viet Cong.
Okay, that's actually action, at least. That's not just like, not to say that I agree with the action, but you're at least, doing something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here, we found this bag of guns. Just one bag. Here
I mean,
you
you
go.
can buy guns from wherever.
I just wonder how much that even helped.
That's what I'm saying. I
The
don't think they
Soviets
really
and
helped.
Chinese are funneling all types of shit into there.
This was a fucking drop in the bucket.
They're like, hey, we also got like 800 pounds from these fucking weirdos in England.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, it's like this guy's like, hey, check this out.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Sergeant Ang, like, get over here.
Look
They're
at
like,
this.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
We got 4 AK-47s.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Troy-
Tom.
Troy showed up with 5 handguns.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Malcolm. All right, bro.
But as much as Caldwell loved communism, the way, someone likes punk rock or metal or something like that, it's like, oh, my favorite type of music is punk rock. My favorite political system is communism. He had a favorite band,
Oh, no.
so to speak.
What band?
The Khmer Rouge.
Oh, he was big on, that's Pol Pot, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, he thought Pol Pot's regime in Cambodia was fucking awesome.
That's insane. That is so insane.
He thought they were like the best version of communism.
Just fun fact, Pol Pot's one of those terrible maniacal leaders that also, for whatever reason, just like the guy in Africa was like, hey, people with glasses, we got to kill them.
Yeah, but great name.
Pol Pot?
Yeah. The
Oh.
Brandon alliteration.
Pops. Pol Pot pops.
Pol Pot. Pol Pot
And
died
also, fuck the nerds.
Yeah, that was Pol Pot for sure. He's like, I don't like academics, which is funny considering this academic loves him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe Pol Pot, like another funny story about him, I'm pretty sure he died as an old man.
Pol Pot tragically died only a couple weeks into the great home run race of 1998 between
Yeah.
Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa.
He basically-
April 15th,
He didn't
1998.
get to see who won?
No, he never got to see who won.
That's tragic.
That is tragic.
That's more tragic than anything he did.
I agree.
And also the academic that liked him that didn't do research, Jake.
Fair. Makes sense. That
Going
way.
off vibes.
Yeah, Cambodia, mad chill. Khmer Rouge, good name.
Yeah.
Like, get it.
So
It kind of checks out, really.
before we get into more of Caldwell, let's go over some of Pol Pot's greatest hits.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, I wrote this later in the outline, but I'll just say it up front. This is not even close to an exhaustive list. We could do a whole episode just on Pol Pot's atrocities.
We could do a 4-part series on
It's
Pol Pot.
fucking crazy. These are just some of the hits. First off, let's start with one of the slogans of the Khmer Rouge, Pol Pot's regime. See if this sounds familiar. Different, but similar. It is better to kill an innocent person than to leave an enemy alive.
Shoot first, ask questions later. Yeah.
No, even worse. which is there's a Western ideal of it's better that 10 guilty persons escape than one innocent person suffer.
It's the reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's bizarro.
Pol Pot killed about 2 million people, responsible for 2 million people's deaths, which is about 25 at least % of Cambodia's population when he took over.
It was really bad. Cambodia's never between Pol Pot and our bombing.
Oh yeah,
missions,
America. Did.
Oh, I'm not saying there's any equivalency there.
Yeah.
It's just between those two things, they got really
So
fucked.
Pol Pot, he's kind of like the Sandy Koufax of dictators, right? Career cut short, but the rate stats just bananas.
I don't
What's
know.
Agent Orange then?
I don't know.
It's a curveball.
I can only take this analogy so far.
Yeah.
This metaphor.
No,
so
it wouldn't
far.
be a curveball. It would just be another player.
Oh, Agent Orange. I don't know because it's baseball, but I resent you for using Sandy Koufax this way.
Yeah, I know.
He's our
the
one
only
guy.
good
Yeah.
Jewish athlete.
Yeah.
That's our brochure, the Hall of Fame.
You just everyone
Sandy
just goes
Koufax
straight
Museum.
to Sandy Koufax. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that and the guy
Boy.
from UCLA. the
Someone
quarterback.
count down to the minute someone spray paints Koufax's bust in Cooperstown.
Oh, you get some people pissed off about that one. You might actually get us to start talking.
you just get up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
we're
is Caruso Jewish? I'd imagine.
Rod
Caruso?
Carew.
No, Alex Caruso,
that sounds Italian.
I don't think he's
the
Jewish.
basketball player.
Yeah. But if that's number 2, that's not great.
He starts for the Heat.
Yeah.
Or actually the Bulls. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Even
what
they-
the 10 seed in the
Yeah,
East.
they didn't qualify.
It is what it is. Other fun things. I'm going to go between big stats and little things here. A whole family could be executed for the minor offense of one family member. If you were late to work, you and your whole family could be killed. Quite a few of the people that Pol Pot's regime murdered were racial minorities in Cambodia because the Khmer Rouge believed in Cambodian racial purity. So they were white supremacists, but of their own race.
They were racial supremacists.
They were racist, massive racists, and committed genocide in the name of it. Husbands and wives were prohibited from arguing with each other. If they were caught doing so more than twice, they were either separated or executed. According to 2 authors who wrote a pretty exhaustive book on the genocide, John Barron and Anthony Paul, some commissar somewhere in the country said that any boys and girls caught holding hands premaritally could be executed. They imprisoned and tortured entire families, including women and children, just if they were suspected of being enemies of the regime. And by the way, you were just named an enemy of the regime, popped into jail with your whole family. Everyone was tortured to death.
Yeah.
Happened to tens of thousands of people.
But were the vibes chill?
How'd he do
They
it?
sound awful, but
Well, we'll get to that.
Was it in a cool fashion?
We'll get to all of that.
Every-
The tortures were actually so horrifying that prisoners tried any way they could to commit suicide. They even tried to just cut their fucking wrists open with spoons. So their hands had to constantly be tied behind their backs to prevent them from killing themselves before they could be tortured to death. Pol Pot and all them famous for one thing you might have heard, the killing fields.
Yep.
Mass graves where prisoners were killed at night. A lot of times they would just use nails and hammers because bullets were too expensive.
sick. So a slow bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a nail to the brain.
Yeah. A special treatment was given to babies and children. They were taken away from their mothers, relatives, whatever, and they were smashed against the so-called Chunkiri tree,
Oh.
which Noam Chomsky to this day says is a lie.
Noam Chomsky?
Mm-hmm.
I like some Noam books. There's a couple books I like by Chomsky.
Caldwell's a big fan of Noam, and Noam is a big denier of anything that happened in Cambodia.
Yeah, but was it like the Tree of Life in Lion King? Is Rafiki just chilling up there?
That's where Rafiki gets the things to paint.
I got to think that monkeys hopped into that tree from time to time, but it just wasn't a fun place to live.
I'm just saying, was it impressive?
No,
Was it
there's
aesthetically?
there's pictures of the tree. It's
Is
kind of
Chom-
just a fucking tree.
Is Chomsky's defense that all of this is propaganda by the West?
Yes.
Okay, I mean that would make sense for Chomsky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is, if you remember from an earlier episode that you should definitely listen to if you haven't, this is what Hannah Dunstan, I can't remember her last name, even though I did the episode, went on a fucking Native American killing spree for.
Yes.
Because they took her newborn baby and smashed it against a tree after they kidnapped her.
I guess there's probably some historical relevance to smashing babies against trees.
Fucking happens a lot, apparently.
Yeah.
We'll do an entire episode on baby smash.
Yeah. Now
that's
here's
what I call baby smashing.
Volume 1.
Volume 1.
Here's some fun stuff that I couldn't even dream up. I was so impressed by this. Obviously, the Pol Pot regime, like you said, they outlawed glasses and shit.
Yeah.
They hated anyone educated. They wanted to be a very agrarian society. Very, like, their form of communism was like hippie commune communism.
Yeah. Definitely more of the earth.
Yes.
Yes.
Western medicine was banned because it was capitalist.
Not wrong.
Doctors were sent to work. Yeah, not wrong.
Not wrong.
He's got a point.
But
Our medical system's broken.
yeah, I mean, wrong in that you should eschew Western medicine because it's capitalist. Not wrong that capitalism brought you a lot of Western medicine.
I think the bigger issue with Western medicine is that it's reactive and not proactive. But that's a topic for another
Or that we
time.
have sales reps.
That's the bigger issue.
That's like American medicine, though, more than anything.
No, that's
Most of Western medicine is socialized.
Well, no, the Western format of providing medical care.
Oh, yes.
Is
So what?
It's
Us
reactive.
and New Zealand are the only countries in the world that advertise pharmaceuticals.
Oh, yeah. People think that's weird or whatever.
It is weird.
It probably is to a lot of people. I just
Yeah.
tune it out. I don't know.
You know the little Zoloft ball, that little sad guy that hops around. He's all sad because he's depressed. He's a depressed ball, but then he takes Zoloft and he's happy. Like, why is it a cartoon? Why are you making a fun cartoon?
I just saw
for-
Ozempic commercials.
Piss out your bone mass. Shoot Ozempic.
I mean, bone and organ weight are weight.
They are.
So is blood weight.
If
You
all
can
you care
be,
about,
yeah. If you don't want to be big boned, get rid of your bones.
all
you
you
know?
that tracks. Yeah, if all you care about is a number on a scale, then by all means, take Ozempic.
That's all that matters.
Be a puddle of skin.
Skin Puddle 2024.
Why not? It's hot. So Western medicine, like I said, is banned. Doctors were sent to work on farms, if not executed. So a medic who worked inside the S-21 prison,
All doctors? Does he have his own doctor? Does he get a special pass?
I'm sure Pol Pot is not getting treated by the medics I'm about to talk about. So
'Cause
basically,
Death of Stalin.
There's
There's a whole plot point in Death of Stalin where they kill all the good doctors, and then they have to go with whoever's left, and they're like, "Do we want to give Stalin one of these doctors?"
Yeah.
like,
Should we go out of state for this?
like we should probably get someone else.
Yeah.
We killed all the good ones.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I still need to watch that movie actually, and it's by the dude who did Veep, which
Yeah.
says everything you need to know.
It's very good.
And the cast is stacked as well.
Yeah.
So they just started making random peasants medics.
That sounds good.
Gave them full medical control of hospitals, of treatment, of everyone that was normal, not Pol Pot, obviously.
I
but-
gotta imagine that would be like giving me, you, and Dan full control over a hospital.
Talk about DEI, am I right, guys?
Peasant equity and inclusion.
yeah,
PEI.
no, because you guys aren't sick fucks,
True. We aren't.
I think.
Actually,
So they just started doing medical experiments.
yeah.
But not the sort of medical experiment that like an unethical doctor would do. The sort of medical experiment an unethical serial killer who was given a doctor's coat would do.
It's like Goebbels or 731 or something like that, pretty much.
If not worse.
Ooh.
If not kind of worse. At one point, they a 17-year-old girl who was in prison had her throat slit and her abdomen pierced. Then she was beaten and just thrown into water for an entire night, but like not drowned. Just like, you're gonna be in water now. They always did this stuff without anesthetic. She died, of course.
Yeah. I was
In one hospital, child medics,
Okay, you have my attention.
cut out the intestines of a living, and doesn't need to be said, but I'll say it, obviously non-consenting person, and then they took the two ends of the intestines that were supposed to not be connected and connected them.
Rob,
Oh,
how else
no.
are they going to learn? All right, they're child medics. They're going to get better as time goes on.
Well, that's why they did it.
experience.
Wouldn't it be more efficient to have it all connect?
Yeah, it was really just a lot of let's see what would happen stuff. In that same hospital,
They're building towards the future, though, right?
Med-
Like,
kind
if they have an 8-year-old medic,
that's a bit what Caldwell thought. So
the more they do, the better they get. So by the time that 8-year-old medic's 18, he's like a grizzled veteran.
Yeah. No, for sure. It'd be like putting a 4-year-old in front of a flat top grill and being like, trial and error, baby.
Yeah.
You got it.
Figure it out.
Make a McChicken. Or make a smash burger.
I was going to say, McChicken be pretty easy.
You just put that in the microwave.
You put it in the fryer and it floats.
Pull it, then you pull it out.
Put it on bread.
Find the tongs if you're lucky, I guess.
Yeah, touch the oil. Figure it out. You will be fine by 18, 4-year-old.
In that same hospital, other quote physicians were just like, "What's a heart look like when it's beating?" So they just found a guy, opened his chest to take a look. He died.
That was actually the inspiration for Temple of Doom.
Was it?
No, I don't
That could be.
Yes.
I don't fucking know. It was after that.
Yeah.
You gullible son of a bitch.
You dumb bitch. Oh, man.
Anyway, so Caldwell routinely wrote in major publications saying that everything I just said and so much more was all bullshit, and that Pol Pot and Cambodia were like doing fucking incredible. They were the blueprint for the future. Any word about them essentially was in Western media was anti-communist propaganda, lies to shame them.
Yo, what if they were right?
They weren't.
How do you know?
Caldwell, you mean?
It honestly just sounds like what No Child Left Behind should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? How do you know they were wrong? How do you know it wasn't propaganda?
I guess I don't. Taking it on faith.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I thought.
Sounds like you're letting your prejudice kind of
Maybe you
influence.
should do your
I'm just
own
getting very
research.
Caldwell here. I'm all in on the idea. Didn't
Yeah.
do any research.
Wow. Look in the fucking mirror, dude.
Mhm.
I'll have to look in the screen, but
I think you
No.
went into this topic already deciding what you believe in,
I did. I absolutely did.
But seems
and you're starting to spin your own narrative.
seems a little hypocritical.
You guys think I'm gonna get fired from the university I teach at now?
Yeah.
It
Probably.
depends. What are you spewing?
Just a lot of fucking. I just complain about my wife and kids a lot.
No,
He's-
you're fine
A
though.
lot of like just neoliberal philosophies and like, police are good. They just need reform and, just stuff like that. Just very bootlicker.
Yeah.
Like economy first guy.
I do have a whole class on how the Boston Massacre was a justified police shooting, though.
As he should.
Yeah.
That should be the first and last lecture. As a reminder.
But yeah, he saw all this death or heard about all this death and was like, bullshit. So at one point, he actually wrote in The Guardian that because he wrote in papers all the time too. He was published in a lot of different publications in the UK and abroad. Big byline, this guy. He said that mass murder in Cambodia was somehow America's fault, and this was after we were gone. We were out of Nam at this point. We were not doing things in Cambodia anymore. But like deaths that were happening were America's fault. He claimed that malaria that was killing a bunch of people in Cambodia, and even more than it would have normally, like quite a bit more than it would have normally because of Pol Pot's policy of moving people out of cities and into the countryside to be farmers. He claimed that the malaria had been literally released by Americans.
Biowarfare, got it.
Yeah.
Classic.
And he, it was all because of Americans, even though they were long gone. He actually cited Pol Pot's information minister, Hu Nim, which is funny because unbeknownst to Caldwell, by the time of publication, Hu Nim claimed that, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Cambodians claimed that, and Caldwell was like, oh, the Cambodians said America released malaria. I'm going to put that in the paper.
Sure.
And Hu Nim was the information minister who put that statement out. Unbeknownst to Caldwell, at the time of publication, Hu Nim had actually been arrested and tortured to death in one of Pol Pot's prison camps.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to be high ranking in one of these regimes. You don't want anyone to know you exist.
I don't think in this regime in particular, you want to exist at all. Like I said, people who went to prison were immediately like, I need to kill myself.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Right.
Jake, that's why you'll never make it. You just can't thrive in high pressure situations.
False.
You never want it. That's why you'll never be a success, because you won't put yourself out there. you won't be atop of like a murderous communist regime.
You know, you might
Would
be
you
right.
harvest oysters in the middle of a hurricane?
You don't harvest them. You sink the cages.
I'm killing you right now for
Sounds
saying
like
that.
a no.
You sink the cages and then you bring them back.
That's how you
up.
get killed, Jake.
What do you mean?
Bringing information to us. Dead.
Oh shit, you're right. That's too academic.
Yeah.
Fuck. What am I doing?
Fucking nerd.
What am I doing? No, you thank the sun and the earth and communism, and they will protect the oysters.
Good.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Now go receive your whore.
Oh wow, it's this kind of vibe.
Probably.
If you do it, you're gonna have horse for good behavior.
Did Pol Pot not?
I think your good
Giving
behavior.
out golden stars?
Good behavior is alive. You're alive. That's the greatest gift.
Never truly alive.
Until you're dead.
Under Pol Pot's regime. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's living. That's like riding a motorcycle through a hoop of fire.
24/7.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the Top Gear where they drove the Easy Rider American
I
flag?
wasn't a Top Gear guy.
There's a Top Gear where they're doing like a motorcycle trip through Vietnam, and one of them somehow ends up like an Easy Rider American flag chopper, and it's like, dude, you can't drive this motorcycle through here. But yeah, anyway,
I've heard they don't really dislike Americans anymore.
probably not. Yeah, I think they were doing like they might have been doing Laos or Cambodia too, and they were like,
Maybe Cambodia.
I
yeah,
had a buddy that went over to Asia to teach English, and he had us stop in Vietnam. He had a great time.
yeah. No, I have a buddy that loves Vietnam,
And he bought a motorcycle and just fucking did the whole tour.
yeah. But you can get like a suit there, like totally custom to your body, like for like nothing.
Yeah, like a dope one.
Yeah,
Fucking
like the
incredible.
nicest suit you'll ever own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would the flights and getting the suit and going back be cheaper than going to like Vegas and getting a Tom Ford?
Yeah, probably.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
You just take a fucking
Depends what time of year you go.
3-day trip to Nam off season
That's like, yeah,
to get a couple suits.
it's like, you want to do the cosmetic surgery here? You want to go to Turkey and get those hair transplants, guy? Like,
Do them here probably.
Also, just get on a boat.
But a body different than suit.
yeah, true. I don't know, man.
Um,
Turkey's big on the hair transplants.
Are they?
That's
Yeah.
a big thing in Turkey. The people go to Turkey for
People
hair
travel there
transplants.
to do it.
That's news to me.
It's body mod or like body. What do you want to call it? Cosmetic surgery tourism.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a thing.
Body dysmorphia
Well,
tourism.
it's like people that go to Mexico for their teeth here. Like people go to Mexican dentists and like doctors and shit all the time.
People go to
That's-
Panama for like stem cell treatments.
yeah, like
Oh yeah, I mean I've heard that.
it's cheaper to like get a flight to Mexico to like get whatever you need to
You get like
taken.
you're like, all right, maybe I'm out of options. I'm gonna go get experimental wild shit.
Not really, because Mexican doctors are actually pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's just like it's cheaper
All right.
because our health system is fucked by insurance.
You think
Yeah.
the cartel's going to have some just...
2-bit dentist?
No.
No, this guy's got chompers, dude.
Do they?
Chompers and choppers, man.
feel like a lot of orthodontal work outside of the United States isn't great.
That's just your racial bias,
Yeah.
dog.
Dude.
Who's the number one country that has a bad reputation for teeth?
The UK.
Yes.
They don't value. Well, one, we're not talking orthodontia.
You
We're
fucking
talking-
xenophobe.
Yeah, we're talking dentistry. There's
I
a
am
big
xenophobic.
difference. Like the amount of orthodontia that happens here isn't necessarily necessary either.
Also, the British just deal with it. They're like,
yeah,
it's not a priority.
those are my teeth.
yeah.
I think
If you have
They
a snaggletooth, you just got to live with that shit.
Yeah.
I think the cartel's vain.
they seem it.
There's a quite a bit of vanity when it comes to the cartel.
Good at symbolism too, which
Mm-hmm.
bleeds very much into vanity.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So he also wrote in another, or he also cited in another article another fucking, I guess their ambassador to the UN, who claimed he cited this as like it was true, like he was just like, yeah, this guy said it and it's fucking true, that there was more terrorism on the streets of New York than in Cambodia under Pol Pot.
What about Chicago?
Okay. That's insane.
Right.
What
Which
about
like,
Chicago?
Which is like Putin being like, oh, you think Ukraine's bad? What about Chicago? Think I'm bad in Ukraine? What happened in Chicago last night?
Yeah, I don't think those 16-year-olds are hitting each other in the head with sledgehammers.
Putin has essentially done that, but he talks about our intelligence agencies, which he's not totally off base.
I mean,
He can
dude,
talk about whatever. I don't give a fuck. He's
Yeah.
still worse.
hey, don't suck then, Putin.
Yeah.
Like, dude, be the world superpower you want to be. Oh, you can't. Why? You suck.
As John McCain said, gas station with nukes.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what it is.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, everyone wants to, like, there's all these old KGB videos of, like, oh, the American identity is, like, so fucking bad and stuff. It's like, do you think they're not doing the things they were trained to do in that moment when they're being interviewed?
Oh yeah.
They're there to sow discourse. Like,
Yeah.
the whole point is to make you doubt your country, right? So it's like when Putin goes on, oh, well, fucking A, like, oh, the American intelligence community. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. Of course. What do you think he's gonna say? They're so good.
Yeah, actually,
Guys,
pretty
they're
sweet.
good.
They're pretty sweet.
Yeah, like,
I love them.
why the fuck would Putin say anything but negatives about that? It's just like, use your brain for like 10 seconds if you're watching Putin talk. Like, he's not gonna be like, damn, you know what? Actually, America's got bars and intelligence.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they're- You know, like, they're not gonna. He's not gonna do that. It's insane.
I just wish he was like a Yankee fan,
Just like something random. Like
or
that.
just like rocked with the Red Sox.
The closest we have to that is Drake picking a team mid-season.
It's whoever he bets on,
Yeah, fair enough.
and it's typically a loser.
Well, I feel like Putin would be an NHL fan of some team. I bet you he low-key does root for an NHL team.
He was a
Maybe
Penguins,
Ovechkin for a while until he kind of turned coat.
he's a Penguins fan.
Pens?
Yeah,
Why?
Malkin.
yeah.
Yeah, Malkin. And Malkin's more... Malkin plays in Russia right now, I think. He just scored a... Or no, Malkin's still in
And
the
I
US.
mean Jaromir Jagr
Yager, I think, plays in somewhere in Europe
too.
right
Jagr
now.
still fucks.
He does still fuck. Some chick tried to blackmail him, and he just released a sex tape on his own.
So check it. Oh God,
Yeah, Jagr's the best.
did I drink that?
That was mine. Did you drink out of mine?
I might have. It's okay.
You're going to get sick now.
No, you
I
have antibiotics.
Mm.
Cool. You got to reset your entire gut biome.
Never done that once.
Been
And
doing
I
it.
can Tell.
So in 1978, Caldwell's dream came true. He got to go to Cambodia
Finally.
to see how fucking awesome it was.
Cue that punk song. I believe it's Dead Kennedys. Holiday in Cambodia.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Dan, you want to put that in post?
I don't believe we can use it.
You
Oh,
can't. You
damn it.
absolutely
We
can't.
may
It's
get
not very
a
punk rock,
strike
but-
for that.
Yeah.
The Briton.
Why don't you sing it though? Maybe we can.
I don't know it.
Holiday in Cambodia. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's all I
No,
know.
sounds right.
You don't want to go Green Day holiday on holiday.
That's the worst Green Day album. American Idiot.
There's no. Oh, American Idiots.
You don't like
There's-
Jesus is Suburbia and all 55 minutes of that song?
Those fucking guys.
Dookie is a good album.
Yeah, Dookie's great.
Yeah.
The minute those guys.
What a take you had. So brave of you to go on that limb that Dookie is good.
Dookie is a good album.
It is.
But
Nobody's arguing that.
American Idiot is their
It's
worst.
horrible.
International super hits. It's also good.
I'm going to go home and rock some Jesus is Suburbia real quick.
Cool, man. It's bad. Have fun with that.
So
Be up all night listening to that one song. All 5 parts.
not wake me up when September ends.
Oh,
That's
is
towards
it
the
Mizzou's
end.
football season again?
What?
Wake me up when September ends.
What does that mean?
Means you lose, bitch.
Yeah.
Finish your top 10. Either you boys got numbers next to your names?
No, we just got national championships.
No, we just have a quarterback that speeds.
Yeah.
Well, who
KJ. KJ, what are you doing, bro?
Who doesn't?
Wish he went that fast on the field, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he was accompanied by 2 American reporters, Elizabeth Becker of the Washington Post and Richard Dudman of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, actually, which I did not know.
The whole reason. This
No, I
episode was
didn't know that until like at the end of writing this, to be
Uh,
honest.
No, you knew.
Come
didn't.
on.
Never heard of the guy.
Own
and
it.
And he's dead. Never
Good.
met him.
Good.
Don't know him. So Becker had actually, of the Washington Post, she had been reporting in Cambodia for a while, reported on the civil war that brought Pol Pot into power. She knew everything there was to know about it. She went to Thailand to talk to Cambodian refugees. She knew all his shit very well,
She's
very
like, "Actually,
intimately.
I've lived this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fuck you.
She tried to tell Caldwell how fucked up the country was. Again, Caldwell had not been there. And Caldwell was like, no, it's awesome because communism is awesome.
You know, people do that now with, like, North Korea, right? They say all the refugees, like, they're highly paid. They are just making shit up for Americans. It's like,
Crisis actors.
then why'd they leave?
Right.
Yeah.
Also, I assume in their many arguments they had, because she said they argued all the time, that he was like, and if there is anything wrong, it's obviously fucking, America's fault, the West's fault. Like, obviously, Cambodia is not doing anything wrong.
Man, what a fucking break communism has gotten from, like, hand waving. Like, it's the only thing that's had so many atrocities that people are like, well,
God. I know.
well, like, if it weren't for everyone else, we'd be fine. It's the most, like, fucking narcissistic. It is the narcissism of political theory. It's like, if it weren't for everybody else, I'd be great.
Communism is essentially like the way people wave it off is like, because the big thing now is like, oh, the only reason it failed is because everyone else tried to make it fail. It feels like, but that's not really why it happened. What really happened was it existed in the world, and it's not compatible with the world. So it's more people complaining that they built a house in a flood zone, and then that house got wiped off the face of the fucking earth.
Because again, humans are competitive.
Yeah, well,
by
also,
nature.
Also, it only didn't work because people wanted it to not work. It's like, well,
that's a horrible.
That's a horrible thing because it's like every other political system started with people not wanting it to work.
My team only didn't score because the other team was playing defense.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Good Lord.
Exactly.
What?
What about the ones that worked?
Right.
Yeah, because I'm sure there was a point where people were like, this democracy, like capitalism thing, not a fan. And people didn't want that to work, but it did.
It was two sides competing.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Drives me insane. But for what it's worth, she still really liked Caldwell. Like the arguments were, even though he was fucking, I don't understand how you can have someone tell you to your face after you've seen, like, I don't know, met people who were like, yeah, I was raped by 100 people. My whole family was bayoneted to death. And then this guy's like, no, actually, none of that happened. It was all Western propaganda.
And it happened before.
And then she's like, honestly, hated his beliefs, super nice guy.
Yeah.
At some point, you're like, I don't know, man. I've met so many kids that were raped. I just feel like you're a dick.
You seem like a nice enough guy, Malk, but
fuck
you're an
off.
Idiot. Yeah.
She said he was a lovely man, very funny, very charming, a real sweetie. All that stuff. One thing she did not love about him, though, obviously, was that how he was so ideologically captured. This should come as no surprise, but there was a book at the time that was kind of a big source on info. Like, it was the source on the genocide in Cambodia carried out by the Khmer Rouge. It was called Cambodia Year Zero by Francois Ponchot. Sorry. He was a Catholic missionary, and he was in the Cambodian capital when the communists took over. And Malcolm was just like, nah, I ain't reading that.
Now, is it bad to be religious under a communist regime?
Very.
Pretty bad.
Very.
Yeah. Pretty bad.
They don't like it. For example, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but boy, did they kill a lot of Muslims in Cambodia.
So all the people that are like atheism, no blood on their hands, wrong. Very wrong.
Maybe the most in the 20th century is from atheism.
Yeah, they kind of stack numbers.
Whoa. Communism, not atheism.
Yes.
Communism, like, it's the method, right?
But they were atheists.
Yeah.
So?
I'm just saying.
Okay.
You're getting really picky with what term you want to go with.
No, I don't give a shit if people don't believe in God. That's just dumb to fight over.
Honestly, and those people had a religion, and it was communism.
Yeah, that's the state is your religion.
Right. They're not atheists.
They aren't. They believe, like, God, like, they thought fucking China, they were like, Mao is the sun, and like, you know, it's just like, okay, whatever. Like, you guys are a cult still. You just have a person that you believe in, or a state, or there's something
again,
you believe in.
by the way, where we talk about how it's like, it doesn't matter. There's always going to be a market.
Yeah.
It does. Oh, you could try to get rid of religion, but people are just going to fucking replace it with other things to be like, being a good person's hard. What if I just like check a few boxes, and instead of the boxes being like Jesus and it's, whatever, like, I'm a good liberal, I'm a good conservative.
Didn't you do an entire episode where they replaced God with like an orange?
Mangoes.
Yep. Yeah, mangoes.
Yeah, mangoes. Yeah, people were beaten for making fun of it.
To quote something similar, I guess, the children yearn for the mines.
The people yearn for a God.
Yeah.
Really a savior.
A
more
purpose.
Than anything. It's a purpose and a savior.
Or like something
no,
that
people yearn
higher
a leader,
power
organization. Yeah, higher power.
Well, yeah.
Something that simplifies the world.
Oh, wait, a fucking hierarchy? Like we've just been talking about?
Right.
Everyone needs someone on top. Everyone needs a daddy. Like,
need a daddy.
Yeah.
So this guy whose entire fucking job it was to study South Asia took a book that, now he definitely disagreed with it, obviously, but he took a book that everyone was like, this is important. This should be read, even if you disagree with it. Like, this is information. It, at the very least, it'll help you understand a viewpoint. People you're supposed to study or whatever. He was like, no, it says mean things about my favorite band.
Yeah.
He'd fit in today.
He would crush today.
As a professor, I think I can tell this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that.
So he also never took the book seriously because another thinker who he admired, Noam Chomsky, already said it was bullshit. So since Noam said it was bullshit, he was like, oh, good, I don't need to read it.
That's just doubling down on bad practices as an academic.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah. No, I'm sure Noam read the fucking book.
Now, what's fun about Caldwell never reading the book is that he wrote in The Guardian that the book was bad and wrong.
That seems right.
Could not give specific examples. However,
Just the whole concept, really. Like, the whole idea of the book is wrong and bad.
just
I wouldn't read it.
regurgitated what he heard
Noam Chomsky say.
Naum say.
If this doesn't sound like
Every dude here now.
everyone on fucking
world.
Twitter, what the fuck are we doing? Like, this is every fucking person I hear speak today. With the exception of like 4. Tucker Carlson,
Four's too many.
Elon Musk.
Absolutely
man.
not.
Tucker's fucking. Back to Tucker real quick. That and Russia. God.
Fuck that, actually. He said something on Rogan the other day. I don't listen to Rogan, but I caught the clip that America's evil for nuking Japan, and obviously I just wanted to lose my fucking mind.
Who's Tucker appealing to there?
He just says things.
Dude,
that
I
are
don't know.
the
He went to
opposite.
a Russian grocery store and was like, this is great.
Yeah. He
was like, I only spent $100 on groceries. The average Russian income a week is $200.
Yeah. Oh, that and the my favorite part about the whole grocery store trip is like, oh, so you put a little coin in and you get your grocery cart. This, and then if you return it, you get it back. This prevents vagrants from keeping grocery carts. It doesn't.
Because they easily have a quarter on hand, and also, hilariously, actually respect to Tucker for this, too rich to have ever shopped at Aldi.
Right.
Also, you put a quarter on a string, you just pull it back out.
A lot of ways to do it.
Yeah. Also.
Or also, you put the quarter in if you're just a good hobo. If you're a real, like, hobo, you take the cart back to your camp, and then you break off that fucking handle and get your quarter back out.
Yeah. If you really need it.
There's so many ways to get the quarter back.
Also, treating Aldi store's policy like a Russian staple of it's just like, Costco has a great return policy. You know where it doesn't? American, like whatever it is, right? It's like that's just a store, dude.
Yeah,
that ain't Russia. It's like how are you titrating this down to this? Because people want it to be done that way for them.
It's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
But also, despite having not been to Cambodia yet, Caldwell wrote his own book called Kampuchea, which I think is the name of the party in Cambodia or whatever, A Rationale for Rural Policy. He wrote that the Pol Pot's revolution, quote, opens vistas of hope not only for the people of Cambodia, but also for all peoples of all other poor third world countries. So, again, this is not just communism is awesome, but this version of communism is it.
Yeah, he sounds like he's trying to get some sort of ambassadorship in the state, is what my guess would be.
Well, like I said, he got his dream. He got to go to Cambodia. Him and the 2 reporters were taken around the country and shown staged scenes of this and that, blah, blah, blah.
If you were to take anyone in America, like someone visiting America that didn't believe, like what does your staged America trip look like? What are you taking people to?
I don't need to stage
You don't have
shit.
to stage shit. You go to the fucking Randall's in Houston.
All right, but
Right.
say you do, right?
Yeah.
We go into the Daytona 500.
You're doing Daytona 500. You're doing Kentucky Derby. You're doing the Masters. You're just
No,
doing
I don't think that you do the Masters.
No, that's too
Not-
elitist.
It's not grand enough.
Yeah. Kentucky.
It's gorgeous and everything, but you need like fucking spectacle.
Monster Jam.
Monstrous
Jacksonville.
thing.
Yeah. Monster Jam. Let them see
Do
Grave
a whole
Digger.
weekend in Daytona. I think that's it.
Go to the Super Bowl, baby.
Just Florida for a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, just come through. We got you, dude.
Take him to like some mid-ass shit. I mean, a lot of Westerners, even like British people and stuff, They go to like college football games and they're like, how the fuck? This isn't even your most popular football league?
No, dude, you've seen the clip of Stephen Fry crying at the Iron Bowl, right?
No.
He's like, this is just a regional bout between two colleges in a state. He's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
That makes
there's the
sense
jet
to like
flyover.
people in the UK though.
With soccer?
Yeah, it's a similar vibe. In all honesty,
They're not putting
Europeans should connect with college sports over professional sports all day.
It is more similar, but they're not putting 100K in the stands.
It's the magnitude at so many levels.
It's the volume, I think.
Yeah.
And like again, like you said, like the jet flight. I mean, like, dude, like at random Mizzou games, we'll be playing like North Dakota State, and stealth bombers fly over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're stationed. I'm like 5 miles away.
They're
Yeah,
like,
but
fuck
that's
it.
sick.
Let it
They're
ride.
fucking
yeah,
rad,
it's
I
the coolest
know.
thing ever, dude. We had like a bee bomber fly over the swamp one time, and it was just like so low, and that stadium so high that it was just like, fuck. Like it's just like you had to cover your ears up.
Yeah.
It like hurt so bad. It was awesome. I love it.
It's fucking incredible.
Hey,
Have like
man.
a bald eagle fly onto their arm.
Just fucking like our tax money pays for these fucking planes. You better fly them over some sports.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of patriotism that I think is lame in American sporting, but I will never be mad at the jet flyover.
No, it's cool.
It's rad. And
They're-
it gets you fucking gassed up.
Yeah.
If I was a player,
Like fuck yeah.
Fucking
Like you're running
go.
out of the tunnel, you hear that, you're just like, okay. Yeah, that's cool.
I
So-
think we can work on our anthem, but we have a lot of other our
anthem's
symbols
not-
and everything
our
are pretty
anthem gets me going.
Our anthem's
are pretty
fine.
solid.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying add a little bit more like solo guitar.
Oh yeah, 100%.
just the Jimi Hendrix version of the anthem.
Yeah, just like let it ride. Let it
Yeah.
be longer.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm into that.
Give me
Yeah.
some solos.
Yeah.
I want like
But it needs to be American. With like you said, like the electric guitar.
Mhm.
it's
yeah.
just like Phil Lesh and like fucking just jamming out for like 20 minutes in between the verses.
Add
And then
in
it
like a
pulls back and you're like, "Whoa, what?"
Add in like a Voodoo Child riff.
I'll tell you what, dude. The Super Bowl I was at in San Francisco, it was Peyton Manning's last game, the one that he won. The second one they won with Denver. Lady Gaga sang the national anthem, and if you don't like, you can not like Lady Gaga or whatever, but like undeniably great voice. Like she's an actual singer.
Great
She's
singer. Yeah.
not like Britney Spears or some shit like that. Like brilliant singer.
Ugly Woman.
Dude, I was like pretty drunk already, and on the end of like 3 days of binge drinking. My God, I was moved to like welled up, like just it was powerful. I was like, this is fucking incredible.
Okay.
Just wanted to let you know, our national anthem gets me going.
I'm cool with our
But also, I was pretty emotional because my dopamine was just all at that point. It's on 2 Adderalls, just trying to keep me awake.
fun.
It
I think it
was
was the drugs.
it was a good time.
It was just the drugs.
It could have been, but it happened, so it was.
You were
real.
in tears?
They didn't stream, but I welled.
Yeah, I love
But a
that.
weld.
I love that kind of hangover. Rewatch something and you're like, "Oh no."
You get too emotional.
It's like shit.
Yeah,
I don't even know why I feel this way. Chemicals, dumb.
I thankfully that didn't happen to me today because I'm pretty sure my oldest son learned about death today.
Oh, sick.
He came to grips with his own mortality at 2.
Well, he wanted to watch a cartoon about elephants,
Oh no.
so I put on Babar,
Oh.
From HBO?
Yeah, Babar.
just episode 1, right? Season 1, episode 1.
Incest cartoon, yeah.
And I didn't know that in episode 1, Babar's mom gets absolutely blown away by a hunter with a shotgun.
What?
By a
And
poacher?
By a poacher. And Babar weeps over her corpse.
Is this
And
a
so-
new Babar?
No, this is from 1989.
No shit.
What the fuck is Babar?
the
Babar,
elephant.
King of the Elephants.
Yeah.
Uh,
Married his cousin.
He didn't have premium cable growing up.
Yeah,
Sorry, we didn't all have fucking lawyer parents.
I didn't have lawyer parents. I still know who Babar is.
Anyway, my kid sees that, and he's eating dinner like 20 minutes later, and he's like, "Man killed elephant." And I was like, "Yeah, I killed the elephant." And Courtney was like, "No, what are you talking about? Don't say that." And then anyway, we went out to swing like 20 minutes after that, after dinner, and he just like sat on the swing, sad, and didn't want to swing, and was just looking down at his feet,
Oh no,
and
man.
was like pouting. And I was like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, I was like, Rory sad? Are you sad? He was like,
Because the man killed the elephant.
because the man killed the elephant.
At some point, you gotta learn, man. They put all that death in those Disney movies.
Oh, I
for
told
a
him it was
reason.
fake.
Oh yeah,
And
it
he
is
cheered
fake.
right back up.
Yeah, it
I just
didn't-
lied to him. He thinks he's going to live forever now.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, keep it going. Now show him
Great.
Bambi tomorrow and do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. That was
As if he didn't have big enough of an ego.
Yeah, now I think he's going to live forever.
He thinks he's immortal.
But Rory won't die. Everyone
won't
else
see it.
will. Actually, you want to freak him out? Tell him everyone else will die, but,
But
you
you,
won't.
yeah.
yeah.
You're going to float through space.
All this.
Alive.
Rory, you gotta wait for the heat death, man. Sorry, it's gonna be 17
even then,
quintillion years.
You're just...
you are the singularity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there saw all this stage stuff. Pol Pot's regime put on all the stage stuff. Even Caldwell knew they were staged because he had been to communist countries before, and he just sat in the car and laughed about how clumsy it was. But he didn't care because he was like, every country tries to make it look better than it is, so what's the big deal?
Yeah.
But Becker, who was there for the whole Civil War, was like, no, they're fucking killing and torturing a ton of people. She, quote, said, one of the problems was the absence of what I saw, the absence of people. There was no one in these cities that they were getting taken through. And that's the different kind of proof to I don't see and that's the different kind of proof to I don't see any people being executed. She couldn't see any people being executed because they were all already dead.
Yeah.
And only the people they were allowed to see were there. They returned to the Cambodian capital, which Dudman, the other reporter, said was totally deserted, a ghost town. It was haunting. But Caldwell was like, this is wonderful. This is every bit as great as I thought.
We built this city. Like, yeah, dude, fucking A.
On bones and skulls.
Yes, there you go.
So, as if things couldn't get any better for Caldwell, with a day left in his trip, he finds out he's going to get to meet Pol Pot.
What?
He gets to meet his
Never meet your heroes.
literal hero.
I hope he doesn't have his occupation under his name badge.
Oh, they know who he is.
Okay, good.
One thing.
Oh no, did he get Khashoggi'd?
You get Pol Potted.
One thing Caldwell loved about Pol Pot was that he was really focused on agrarianism and food self-sufficiency. Like I said, Caldwell also identified a lot with the hippie commune sort of communism of the earth type of situation. He thought that there was going to be food shortages. He also at one point predicted that earth would run out of oil in the 90s.
Heard that one before.
Yeah, he wasn't, he just said, thought it'd be like a fun thing to say. Again,
Yeah.
he wasn't a big data guy.
Vibes.
Again, we've talked about this in previous episodes. Make predictions for when you're dead.
Yes.
Yeah, like I've been saying for years that the topsoil will degrade in 2200. We won't have topsoil anymore. It'll be all dead.
And I think you'll have beachfront property in Wyoming by 2121.
Yeah, that sounds right. Joke's on us. We're going to live that long somehow.
Damn it, you're right.
Yeah. Modern
Too
medicine.
healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's anyone, speaking of my son, who has a claim to potentially, live forever, it's his generation.
Yeah, that's true.
You never know.
Mm.
Just upload it.
We're going to figure out the drug that Voltec has for
The stim pack or whatever?
no, not the stim pack, but the live forever drug. You become a ghoul.
Yes.
It's a good show. I liked it.
I've enjoyed it so far.
What, Fallout?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I need to watch
I'm on
that.
the
It looks
third
really
app.
good. I actually
Yeah.
like low-key have had a huge crush on that actress for a long
Mhm.
time.
What else has she been in?
She's got big eyes.
I
Big
can't-
eyes.
Yeah, I can't look it up right now, but I've always been like, God, she's pretty fucking hot. If you want, yeah, you can look it up if you want. Either way,
It's
though,
Ellie Purnell.
something like
Yeah,
that.
or Ella Purnell.
She was in that zombie movie on Netflix with Dave Bautista, but she was in something before that I first was like, oh, she's super hot.
but Goggins is in it.
Yeah.
Goggins is
Walton
great.
Goggins. I watched The Shield when I was in like high school. I was, been a Goggins guy for a long time, way back. 02.
Anytime he plays any variation of a cowboy, I'm in.
You have to be.
He is a cowboy.
He is.
Like it doesn't matter what he's playing. He's that.
Only real Goggins fans watched his CBS sitcom though.
Obviously, his best role though is probably Hateful Eight.
Now,
You don't think so?
Shane in The Shield is up there. He was fucking awesome in The Shield.
I'm not talking about the Shield, man.
Yeah, stop talking about the Shield. Dude.
Why? Rob always just wants to come in here and talk about the Shield.
I'm just saying, Michael Chiklis, Walton Goggins. You guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about. CCH Pounder?
We can't make Rob stop talking about the Shield.
I'll never stop talking about the Shield.
I don't even want to think about Michael Chiklis' dumb head, honestly.
That's your fault. That's
Big
your
old
fucking
fucking thumb man.
When Rob and Courtney get divorced, it'll be because of the Shield.
problem. It's all I'll let play when we make love.
I'm pretty sure there's a dictator or a serial killer that was like obsessed with Michael Chiklis and the Shield. I'm trying to remember who.
It was Pol
Came out
Pot.
too late for Saddam because it would have. We invaded Iraq like a year or two after it premiered.
Oh, you know what? I think it was Michael Cunanan.
Who's
the,
that?
The guy who killed Versace. I think he was like
Okay.
obsessed with the Shield. I
Sure.
want to say
You
it was
got
that.
Saddam Hussein and the guy that killed Versace mixed up.
I didn't say
No,
it was
I'm saying
Saddam.
I'm just naming a dictator. I'm like Hussein would make sense, but it came out in like 01 or 02, and he was obviously we invaded Iraq in 03, so he only got a season or two at best.
Yeah, he might have really liked it though.
We should do an episode on the Hussein brothers.
Oh, Uday and Kusei?
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it. It's just so brutal, dude. It's so hard to like.
we can cover the Tupac parties.
Dude,
Tupac, not a great guy.
you can't really cover it without covering what they did. One was way worse than the other, but they were both very bad.
Also, Tupac very feminine.
Tupac's a man, dude. Tupac, one.
You ever see like early videos of him trying to get into like art school and stuff? Well, not art school, but like a theater school.
Didn't he go to a theater school?
Yeah, but like his auditions,
He was
everything
like an
for it.
art school kid, which is like
He's just very soft spoken and very flamboyant.
When he was in prison, the album that helped him out and changed the way he wrote lyrics before Machiavelli was August and Everything After by Counting Crows. It had such a visceral effect on him. It changed his writing style, which totally tracks with what you're saying.
They were all yellow. Is that
That's
Counting Crows?
Coldplay.
That's Coldplay.
Yeah.
paradise and put up a park.
That is not that album. That album sucks.
Is that still Counting Crows?
That is still Counting Crows, that song. But
I think
I would think Mr. Jones and Me is
Mr. Jones
Yeah, yeah.
and me.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's what the people want to hear is us fucking imitate Count.
round
Anyway.
here.
They come here for Shield content and Counting
Yeah.
It's
Crows.
very like 90,
Fuck, I'm so
92 to 2004 is like our wheelhouse.
Not
guys.
really. That's fucking like Bill Simmons' wheelhouse.
Yeah, we don't want to be those guys. Anyway, so Pol Pot's plan, one thing he loved, Pol Pot's plan was a massive increase in rice production to finance everything in Cambodia, right? Export rice, blah, blah, blah. It required from the state collectivism and literal slave labor, though Caldwell preferred to see the effort as spontaneous revolutionary spirit, which is a fun way to describe slavery.
Yeah, it's good.
You're only a slave to help everyone else.
Well, Rob, Egyptian slaves actually had to pay 20% to the pharaoh, and like if you think about it, we pay 25% to the government.
We're slaves. We're slaves. I've always felt like a slave.
If your job is mandated, you are a
Always felt
slave.
like a slave. I'm a slave.
And then you also pay a sales tax and property
Yeah,
tax.
double taxing wasn't supposed to be a thing.
They
We're
triple
slaves.
and quadruple
Yeah.
dip. It's kind of like double jeopardy though, right? If there's all these taxes, it doesn't really count.
Yeah, you just don't pay them.
Okay.
It's the way to do it.
You should go to
Tax
a
strike.
store and you should be like, I'm not paying sales tax.
Yeah.
I'm paying what I owe you.
You said the hamburger was $6. Here's $6. The tax is your problem.
yeah, you deal with it.
Figure out the 54 cents or whatever.
Yeah, that's your fucking problem. So it didn't work out. There was a famine. Shit ton of people died. Someone had to be blamed for the famine, so a shit ton of innocent people were arrested and tortured to death. Whatever. Caldwell didn't care. Didn't look into it. Thought it was Western propaganda. So he had his meeting with Pol Pot, and he left the meeting a happy man. He returned to the guest house he was sharing with Becker and Dudman, just with nothing but praise for Pol Pot and Pol Pot's political outlook. He, according to Becker, he, quote, he thought he had a good conversation. He avoided at all costs any discussion of Vietnam, and he was looking forward to going home. So one thing a lot of people don't realize at the time is that Cambodia and Vietnam, even though they're both communist, enemies. Enemies, they hated each other. In fact, a couple days after this trip, Vietnam invaded Cambodia.
I like to
Damn.
think that all of the child medics that they had were called Pots Tots.
Pots tots.
That's what I'm gonna
Hey,
call
Pol Pot, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Make your dreams come true.
That's what I'm calling them. It's the only thing that they should be called from
Pots
now on.
tots.
Yeah.
Pots tots.
So the translator at the meeting between Caldwell and Pol Pot remembered a very pleasant exchange conducted in a spirit of enthusiastic agreement. So they were like, yeah, that is awesome. And we're like, yeah, that's great too. At the end of the meeting, Pol Pot, quote, personally invited Caldwell to return the following year to measure how the revolution had prospered. That night, Caldwell and the reporters had dinner. Afterwards, Dudman went to his room. Becker and Caldwell, according to Becker, stayed at the table to have one last argument about Cambodia. She was like, no, this place is even worse than I thought. It's getting it was horrible when I covered it. Now it's even worse. And he was like, I think it deserves support. I think it's doing great. The revolution's on the right track. And she was like, absolutely not. And he was like, let me try to change your mind. She was like, you can't. And he didn't. So they went to bed. A few hours after they went to bed, Becker was woken up by gunshots. She opened the door. There was a young man outside of it. He pointed a gun at her, and she ran back inside. Dudman also heard the gunshots, woke up, and looked out of his window, saw a file of men running along the street. He went, knocked on Caldwell's door. He said they both spoke for a minute, and then a heavily armed man approached. The man shot at the floor in front of Dudman, and Dudman ran back into his room, slammed the door shut. The guy fired 2 shots through the door. Both Dudman and Becker, the reporters, hid in their rooms for the rest of the night. Several hours later, they were called back out by an aide, and they were told that Caldwell had been shot and killed.
Why?
That's the question.
Yeah.
Nearby, Caldwell's body was the body of the gunman, allegedly, who Becker thought was the same guy who pointed a gun at her. So the gunman's death was ruled as suicide, but who the fuck knows? So what the fuck?
Yeah, what happened?
You know what it is? Nobody likes a dick sucker.
Yeah, don't brown nose me, man.
I want you to like me, but I don't need you, like, worshiping me.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't come on too strong.
That's why you would be a shit dictator, by the way.
Yeah, bad cult leader, bad.
You couldn't have a cult of personality, yeah.
Yeah, you'd be like, stop loving me. Like they'd be like, oh, he's so humble.
Wait,
Maybe they'd love
what's
that.
wrong with
actually.
you? It's most of my
just-
relationships.
As the
when,
prophecy says.
when women love
so
me, I'm
modest.
just like, ugh. No,
Why?
I'm not attracted
Why
to
do you like me? That means
don't
you're
want-
flawed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Your flaw is loving me.
that's a major
Red flag.
issue that I have with you.
Red flag.
I mean, I think that's Courtney's main flaw with me, but I seek to exploit that flaw, that weakness.
As you are one to do.
Yeah.
That progeniting?
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
That foolishness of hers to love me. So there's a couple theories on how this happened and why this happened. An Australian communist who had a radio show said that Dr. Caldwell was murdered by the Cambodian authorities because he had discovered some facts and had probably made his views known, although a lot of people discount that. They say he had a list of names.
Yeah, first off, he's not doing the research.
He's not doing the research, and he's their biggest fan. People don't think that was what one person said, and probably not what happened. Other people say he had a list of names about whose fate he wished to inquire, but was still completely in support of the Pol Pot government, but maybe he brought up a name that wasn't so good.
We don't talk about him.
He also privately told some people, so again, he was number one fan of Pol Pot, but he was a communist in general, and he didn't maybe think Vietnam was as bad as other Cambodians did, and maybe said something of the effect to Pol Pot, and was like, well, I know Vietnam's an enemy of yours, but, can't we all just come together and fuck the West?
Yeah, shut the fuck up on that one, right?
Right.
No. Shut up.
Yeah. British intelligence believed that Caldwell was murdered on Pol Pot's orders.
He's like, we can't have him coming back in a year.
Right.
Yeah.
It is worth noting that Caldwell did wear glasses.
Well, the academic in glasses sure isn't the fucking audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pol Pot himself had a theory. Like we said, Pol Pot died.
Dude, I kind of like Pol Pot now. He's throwing his hat in the mix
Yeah.
like, yo, you know what I think? That's good. I like that.
Pol Pot died in 98, so he had a theory. According to his biographer, he told aides he believed that Dudman was the killer, the other reporter, that Dudman was a CIA agent, and he had murdered Caldwell to...
Trying to make Pol Pot look bad.
Yep.
But it wasn't me.
Dudman thought that the people who killed Caldwell were anti-Pol Pot agents. This was a popular theory that either Vietnam or just people in Cambodia who wanted to fuck over Pol Pot murdered Caldwell.
Okay.
There's also a theory that Pol Pot had Caldwell murdered as a false flag to frame Vietnam.
Oh, like Vietnam did it. Yeah.
Yes.
Makes sense. Yeah, who can say?
Pol Pot's secretary later recalled, though, about Pol Pot in general. That's what he said, quote, Pol Pot, even when angry, you could never tell. His face was always smooth. He never used bad language. You could not tell from his face what he was feeling. Many people misunderstood that. He would smile his unruffled smile, and then they would be taken away and executed.
God, old Pol Pot just looks like someone's grandfather.
Yep.
Just a
That's what
normal,
most old
just a
people
normal
look like.
dude. He just looks very basic.
Looks like a nice guy.
But like obviously earlier, he definitely has more of a like dictator look about him.
Yeah,
Pol Pot's just like playing mahjong in someone's basement. Like just
pretty
like,
fucking
yep.
much.
Like terrible haircut. I think that's a requirement. But in his older age, he just looks like he would watch a baseball game. He was following that fucking home run race.
Mm-hmm. Becker, the reporter who was there throughout all the Civil War and was there the night he was murdered, said, "Don't apply rational thinking to the situation. It was crazy. Malcolm's murder was no less rational than the tens of thousands of other murders. Malcolm Caldwell's death was caused by the madness of the regime he openly admired." In an editorial about his death at the time, another British paper, the Daily Telegraph, wrote, "No doubt his murderers thought his death necessary to their revolution. Malcolm Caldwell's life thus reaches a dreadfully appropriate hypothesis."
What does that mean?
My man,
Fitting ending.
Oh yeah.
yeah, my man's not working with hypotheses.
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 Any of it.
Yeah.
I think he just like goes all in. It's like this is the truth.
Pol Pot, by the way, Taurus, May 19th.
Our guy,
Represent, horns up.
he's getting brownie points in our books.
Yeah, I like a good Taurus, man.
Okay.
Just like
Although,
Thomas
is he
Midgley
still a
Jr.?
Taurus? Doesn't it change? Didn't they
no,
change that shit?
we don't buy that shit. It's the OG signs or nothing.
Astrology.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is all I've got for today. I have an extra question. First, who do you think had Caldwell killed?
All right. I mean, I got to go with my guy Pol Pot.
You think Pot, like he left the room and Pol Pot was like, eh.
No, I think he was right. I think it was his boy.
Oh, okay.
Just trying to
I
make
think
him
it was
look bad.
Dudman.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're siding with Pol Pot.
Yeah,
I
I
think
got to go with Pol Pot.
Yeah.
You know what? It probably, like, in all honesty, it just was like a bribe gone bad or something.
What do you mean?
Like they were probably just like shaking him down for money or something like that. And he's like, why do you need my
So you
money?"
think it was randos?
I think it was random.
What if it was just a rogue soldier and
That's
then
what I'm saying. Like
the guy that, killed himself, they were just like, "Hey, that's our hype man you just killed," and they marked him.
Yeah, and they're like, well, we don't know. I bet it was something as not benign, obviously, considering the circumstances.
Maybe just
but
miscommunication.
yeah, I mean, right? Wouldn't that make sense? Like,
I
you got
doubt
this
this
guy
man
shouting at you. He's
spoke
got a machine
Vietnamese.
gun. Yeah,
Or Cambodian?
or Cambodia. What
Yeah, whatever.
is that?
Whatever I don't know what Cambodians speak. But yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with, Pol Pot probably ordered the death. And I do like the idea that it was either the lesser idea is that Caldwell brought something up that he didn't like. More likely it was Pol Pot is either crazy or was like, let's false flag this.
Yeah, like Pol Pot could have just woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Literally, yeah.
We should really have known what Khmer is the language.
Oh, yep.
That
Khmer Rouge.
Khmer Rouge.
Yeah,
Khmer. It's
fair
the
enough.
language of Cambodia.
I think that every country's language should be the name of the country.
Like American.
Yeah. That's what we're kind of used to, right?
Yeah,
French,
they
German.
speak
Although I'm sure,
Canadian.
but Khmer it's like Han, right? So it's that is an ethnicity, I believe. So they were like Khmer supremacists.
They speak Mexican.
Right.
Yeah. Just named 3 giant countries that don't do that.
Nope. I know. What'd you guys learn today?
Sometimes you got to do your own research.
I don't think you did any research.
Yeah, no, I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think you
Doing
learned
your
about-
own.
I learned about this dude, but I did not learn anything I didn't already know. That nobody really wants to dig into the details,
Nobody wants to learn.
especially when you're already going with a bias.
if you're steadfast in your beliefs, it's going to be really hard to like. If your beliefs can't be swayed with more information, they're not beliefs. Well, no.
They are beliefs.
If if your viewpoints can't be swayed, like if your philosophy, right? Like if your whatever you're championing can't
You're
be swayed
strictly
with new
faith.
information. Yeah, it's a faith-based belief system and not a fact or information-based one, which means you shouldn't be in academia.
yeah, no
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
And who is today's Hitler?
it's Pol Pot.
Mm,
Nerds, maybe.
yeah, who's done more damage, Pol Pot or nerds?
Hard to say.
Hard to say on that one.
Think about
Nerds
it. Really
made the
think
atom
about
bomb.
it. Yeah.
Nerds made the atom bomb.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, Pol Pot killed more people than the atom bomb did.
Well, now
for communism though,
we know that's the eventual end of the world.
True.
just do it already.
I do want to
Quit fucking flexing.
I've been playing Fallout
And
and
throw a
watching
punch.
Fallout, so I'm
I
ready.
want to play Fallout. You can't play it on the Switch right now though. So hopefully that happens soon.
Well, for Jake Goldman and Dan Regester,
Subscribe to our Patreon.
patreon.com/softcorehistory.
Leave a review. 5 stars, please, and thank you. Spotify, Apple, leave a review. Greatly appreciated. Trying to reach 1,000 by next week.
I'm Rob Fox.
And you just got soft served.